Okay, so let's begin the discussion. Right now is the election season. Today's Sunday, June 21st, 2020, 8:05 in the morning. So June the 30th, the very last day of June, and so it's only, just 9 days? So less, almost a week, a little bit more than a week away, and then it's written ballot. So I got my written ballot, and I have a U.S. Senate race. Andrew Romanoff versus John W. Hickenlooper, the stinking pooper. Representative also to the 117th U.S. Congress, District 3, James Iacino versus Diane E. Mitz-Bush. Two, unopposed elections, I don't even know. For State Senator, District 35, Carlos R. Lopez, State Board of Education member, Congressional District 3, Mayling Simpson. State Representative, District 62 is a competitive race. Matthew Martinez, Donald E. Valdez, District Attorney, 12th Judicial District. This is also a competitive race. Robert S. Willett, Alonzo Christopher Payne. And then County Commissioner, District 1 and 3, I choose them. I got a choice for both of them, but it doesn't seem, I'm in District 3, so I would just choose between Stephen Romero or Alonzo Labato versus District 1, who they would vote for Robert Espinoza, Jodoro Sanchez, or Lawrence Ted Rael, R-A-E-L. And so there's my ballot. That's my ballot. Okay, so this is all about Andrew Romanoff and John W. Hickenlooper. I'm just, getting into it, but it seems like it's pretty clear as day to me that Andrew Romanoff is just a million times better candidate. He's younger, he's more exciting, he's more polished. Hickenlooper, he's known, the whole, running for president to go against Bernie, and he stopped Bernie, so I guess there's a success, right? The only, savior America could have ever had. Hickenlooper stopped him, so that's, Colorado has two senators. We have Michael Bennet, who's a kind of Democrat, but he's also, right-wing. Cory Gardner is the other senator who's a Republican, and he, needs to be defeated. They're talking about, he's, the most important thing is defeating Cory Gardner. The most important thing is getting a goddamn progressive senator who actually gives a shit about the people of Colorado. So this U.S. Senate race is clear as day to me that Andrew Romanoff is the progressive and John Hickenlooper is the so-called moderate, but he just keeps running to the right, and he runs to the right all the time. It's what Cory Gardner does, is runs to the right. And Cory Gardner's a terrible senator. Michael Bennet, I don't think is much better. So Colorado has 0 progressive senators right now today. Andrew Romanoff is way more progressive than Hickenlooper. He seems, pretty, he's very progressive, okay? So Andrew Romanoff definitely has my vote. And it's all about his policy. So Andrew Romanoff, let's actually talk about how they got into the race. So John Hickenlooper, he got 15,000 signatures. You could either get the nomination at the Democratic State Convention, right, by just voice vote or raising hands, or get 15,000 signatures, amongst the people, the countryside, the cities. And John Hickenlooper was losing the straw polls. Andrew Romanoff is going to win 86% of the delegates at the Democratic State Convention. So he's very popular amongst Democrat insiders in Colorado. Andrew Romanoff is like their main choice amongst the insiders. Does he have the universal appeal? I think he does better than John Hickenlooper. He got 15,000 signatures and then, dropped out of the convention once he got, clinched his nomination. But that's because it would have been embarrassing to, have gotten beat. So this is crazy. It's almost like the progressive is the insider pick. The establishment pick is the progressive outsider, Andrew Romanoff. And John Hickenlooper, who's establishment as fuck, he got 15,000 signatures, so he's kind of running in as the spoiler, as the person who's, disrupting the apple cart. June 9th, there was a debate, and June 16th, 9 News and Denver 7, respectively. Now, let's just wrote a couple comments down here. So John Hickenlooper said that Donald Trump poo-pooed coronavirus. John Hickenlooper is just, you know, I mean, he seems nice and gentile, which gentle, that's all I meant by that. But he seems very gentle, and that's fine, that's all, you know, good, and he lives in a whole other planet. It just seems, this is the guy we want to be senator, this is the kind of comments, look, Donald Trump poo-pooed corona, he didn't fucking poo, he fucked it up. He poo-pooed coronavirus. John Hickenlooper said at the beginning of his adult life that he said that health care is a right, not a privilege, which is, ever since the beginning of my adult life, health care is a right, not a privilege. What about as a child? Remember when the establishment went after Tulsi Gabbard for her comments as a child? Remember what Tulsi said as a kid? She still is a kid. Well, before, when she was even younger, remember what she said that one time? What the fuck is your problem? So John Hickenlooper just loves health care, big on health care, but he's only for the public option, not for universal Medicare for all. Now, Andrew Romanoff, while he's a progressive, there seems to be some dumb and desperatism on his side. If you're going to go negative, you know, go negative for things that actually matter. He's going negative on kind of stupid shit, kind of just, you know, jabs and not really knockout punches when he's a super progressive. He could hit Hickenlooper on a lot of his, you know, non-progressive policies and his stances. There's the difference between Andrew Romanoff and John Hickenlooper is the difference between day and night when it comes to policies. For one, Andrew Romanoff is in favor of the Green New Deal. He's also in favor of Medicare for all. He's also in favor of abolishing the Electoral College. John Hickenlooper loves the Electoral College, thinks the Green New Deal is socialistic. And Medicare for all, that's, you know, pie in the sky, universal health care. I know all the countries of the world, but we can't do it here in America. If you dream it, you can't do it, especially in America. That's the American dream. And that. So John Hickenlooper, this is the attacks that Romanoff is, like, running ads, and maybe there's dark money in the campaign, so it's going negative, and Jared Polis is outraged, and he's, you know, grabbing his pearls. John Hickenlooper held in contempt for violating state ethics rules. Now, this is a Republican-led commission or independent, who knows. But the two things that they found that John Hickenlooper did that was unethical, he rode in a limousine and a private jet of some corporate donor. And that was, so the Republicans had 97 allegations, only 2 held up. This seems very political. 97 allegations, huh? I feel like after the 95th allegation was not guilty, just give the 2 for free. Just, you know, get the fuck out of here. We are so sorry for Jesus Christ. He had to defend his innocence against 97 allegations. And then John Hickenlooper said that Black Lives Matter means to him that all lives matter. They said, what does it mean to you? And so he said Black Lives Matter means that all lives matter. People are, you know, up in arms about this. Then I don't think it's as big of a deal, because he says Black Lives Matter, all lives, people matter, everybody does matter. Get the fuck, you know, he's saying Black Lives Matter, so it just seems like people are like, well, you're just like the people. Some people say all lives matter to, you know, cover up that they don't care about Black Lives Matter, but the universal idea that all lives do matter, so if Black Lives Matter, therefore all lives matter. I understood what John Hickenlooper meant there. He also commented that George Floyd shooting, he said, the George Floyd shooting, but George Floyd didn't get shot. Remember, he got the knee on his neck for 9 minutes. So John Hickenlooper, are you even paying attention to even know what the hell is going on? I think that's the biggest one. Now, he's also, you know, again, this is a dumb and desperate attack on Romanoff's side. John Hickenlooper, apparently, in 2014, way back in, you know, 6 years ago, John Hickenlooper compared politicians to slaves being whipped to row in the ancient slave ship. This is even dumber. They both apologized for, you know, well, we did the thing, and we apologize. I think he apologized. Romanoff, one, you know, criticism against Romanoff is that he signed on board with one of the most draconian anti-immigrant legislations and pieces of legislation in America, in Colorado, when he was a state legislature there. So You know, he's like, oh, I've apologized for this, you know, for the better half of a decade. John Hickenlooper said that Black Lives Matter means all lives matter. He said the George Floyd shooting, not really that big a deal. John Hickenlooper compared slaves to being ancient slaves. What? I don't even know what the fuck we're talking about. Politicians should be the slaves to the people. We should beat the shit out of politicians to get them to do exactly as the fuck as we want. And so, yeah, I don't think we're whipping our politicians enough, frankly, and to row an ancient slave ship. I don't want them to row an ancient slave ship. I want them to, you know, run a progressive, a government that actually gives a goddamn about the people. So, weak attacks, very, very weak attacks. It's, you know, they're just throwing out little baby jabs. Maybe something might stick. It puts John Hickenlooper on the defensive, but really, it's kind of like, this is, I remember that one time when you said, what? He thought that it was a George Floyd shooting. He knew that it was an atrocity, that it was wrong. He didn't exactly know. I mean, you know, he should know this stuff, but, like I said, Hickenlooper is the moderate. He's a Democrat, so you want to, you know, kind of be on his side a little bit, but Amy Klobuchar is on John Hickenlooper's side, so that really... Do I need to say anything else? Amy Klobuchar is on John Hickenlooper's side. Now, Andrew Romanoff, he's a House representative, or was. He hasn't been in politics for, you know, like a dozen years. He looks like he's 40 or 50, you know, something years old. He served 2 terms as Speaker of the House. So Andrew Romanoff can run for politics until he's dead. Not only was he part of the House, the State House of Colorado, but he served 2 terms as the Speaker, as the main man, as the Nancy Pelosi to the State House of Colorado. District 6. So Andrew Romanoff, he's a House representative for the state of Colorado, District 6, served 2 terms as Speaker of the House. Progressive Democrats endorsed him. Denver chapter of our revolution has 2. This means Andrew Romanoff is a Bernie bro. Andrew Romanoff has gone to these protests when it comes to police. You know, they all care so much. Hickenlooper says health care is a right, and he's for the public option, and he's for Obamacare, but not Medicare for all. It's a right, but not for universal health care. So I think all these politicians know the rhetoric. I'm getting a little parched, so I think I'm just going to end it off right there, and I'll come back. So, yeah, Romanoff is a million times better than John Hickenlooper. Vote for Andrew Romanoff if you live in Colorado. Do not vote for Hickenlooper for U.S. Senate. We do need to beat Cory Gardner, so vote for Andrew Romanoff. Peace.